Did you know? In the Clone Wars Season 6 premiere, The Unknown, the concept of Ringo Vada, the ring-shaped space station that encircles an entire planet, was first developed during the concept design phase of Revenge of the Sith. Clone Commander Doom's colors closely resemble that of classic Marvel Comics villain Doctor Doom. The Jedi Tiplee and Tiplar are based on concept design for a female Sith Lord developed for Attack of the Clones that was not used. Admiral Trench reappears. He was last seen in Season 2 in the episode Cat and Mouse, which is chronologically the first story to occur in the series. The episode Conspiracy marks Nala Se's first appearance since her role in the Malevolence arc from Season 1. Her role is further fleshed out here, as it's revealed she was one of the principal engineers behind the clone army. Fives makes mention of being helped by Shaak Ti during his training. This is a reference to the Season 3 episode Clone Cadets. In the episode Fugitive, Nala Se's description of the inhibitor chip is meant to be the physical representation of what Lama Su tells Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones. We modified their genetic structure to make them less independent than the original host. Walking through the corridors of Tapoka City are the bounty hunter instructors Brick and L-Les first seen in Clone Cadets. In Orders, the Grand Republic Medical Facility is the same structure seen at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where Darth Vader is reconstructed. The room where Fives is examined is similar to the one where Darth Vader is operated on, but it's not the exact same. In the hospital entrance, you can see an FX-7 droid that matches the one seen in the Rebel Medical Bay on Hoth. The taxi driver's name is Jay Igno, which is a nod to Jim Ignatowski, Christopher Lloyd's character in the sitcom Taxi. Inside 79's, there's a pod race on screen featuring an Ishi-Tib pilot. One of the clones in the club proposes a toast to the 212th. This is the same unit that Commander Cody leads. The episode An Old Friend marks Senator Rush Clovis's first appearance since Season 1. The imagery and symbols of the banking clan are strongly influenced by Switzerland, a nation known for its banks and wartime neutrality. The mountains are meant to resemble the Swiss Alps, and the inner workings of the vaults are nods to Swiss clockwork construction. According to the data screen of Clovis's evidence, one of the bankrupt corporations of the banking clan is Sienar Fleet Systems, the same company that makes the TIE Fighter. In The Rise of Clovis, a poster celebrating the sport of pod racing that includes an image of Sebulba and Ben Quadraneros can be seen in Anakin's quarters. Anakin also keeps a model starship in his room and absent-mindedly plays with it, much like Luke does with his T-16. The scene of the medical droid that produces a holographic message of Dooku was originally supposed to feature a holographic droid, like Proxy from The Force Unleashed. Clone Commander Thorn, who appears in Crisis at the Heart, is meant to be a nod to Thor. He has wings on his helmet and a rotating blaster called the Hammer. When the Munes cede control of the banking clan over to Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, giving him the financial means to build an empire, the camera passes by a disgusted Mon Mothma, folding her arms in disapproval. In The Disappeared Part 1, a vacant seat can be seen on the Jedi Council. It was the one formerly held by Adi Gallia. This episode marks the appearance of Apo Rancisis on the Jedi Council. He was first seen in The Phantom Menace, but was left off the council in the series until now. Patine's role as cult leader of the Frangal echoes the role of Chatar Lal, Prime Minister of Pankot, who was also a cultist in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The Bardotan species has previously been seen as one of the pod racers in The Phantom Menace. Mother Talzin resurfaces in The Disappeared Part 2. She was last seen in the Season 4 episode Revenge. For the end of this episode, the script specifically says the heroes ride off like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. One of the starting points the crew explored regarding the unlikely pairing of Jar Jar and Mace Windu was the 2005 comedy The Man, which teamed up Samuel L. Jackson and Eugene Levy. The sandstorm at the start of The Lost One was staged as a tribute to a similar sequence in Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This episode marks the moment when the Jedi finally learn Dooku's Sith name of Tyrannus. It's here where the Jedi realize the Sith were involved in the creation of the clone army, as the name Tyrannus was who Jango Fett identified as his mysterious benefactor in Attack of the Clones. The episode is meant to show that the Jedi were not completely oblivious to the mysterious circumstances surrounding the creation of the clone army. The Jedi were aware of a plot by the war's end, but were helpless to unveil it or stop it in time. An earlier version of this episode's story would have given some screen time to the violent tribal Felucians that were shown in The Force Unleashed, which would contrast the farming designs previously seen in the Clone Wars. In the episode Voices, Yoda investigates hearing Qui-Gon's voice and asks Anakin about what he experienced on Mortis. This shows that Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan did recall what happened and that they reported it to the Jedi. The character Rig Nema was based on early Episode 1 concept art for Mace Windu. In Yoda's visions, we can see the murder of Shaak Ti by Anakin, a scene shot but edited out of Revenge of the Sith. The episode Destiny is meant to teach Yoda many key lessons that he would later pass on to Luke, including the philosophy of serenity and peace over war. The episode bridges the reality of Yoda the battlefield general of the prequels to Yoda the one who dismisses war in The Empire Strikes Back. As Yoda walks through the ruined Jedi Temple, an echo of the Battle of Heroes theme from Episode 3 can be heard. Count Dooku discusses an encounter with a Tarintatech on Kashyyyk. This creature was first introduced into Star Wars lore in the game Knights of the Old Republic. When the Serene Force Priestess pulls her mask off to reveal empty robes, it's meant to be reminiscent of Obi-Wan's empty robes falling when he is struck down in A New Hope. At the start of story development of the final episode of the Clone Wars, Sacrifice, the Sith world was called Korriban, but George Lucas preferred to change its name to Moraband. However, Lucasfilm admits that a world so ancient could have been known by different names in different eras. Lucas created Darth Bane during development of the backstory for Episode 1, though this episode is the first time he's ever appeared on screen, and he was voiced by Mark Hamill. Dooku's new sparring uniform was created to save money. The episode was already very costly with the smoky Sith apparitions, Bane's fiery form, and the cloaks of Yoda and Sidious. Dooku's cloak would have nudged the budget beyond its restrictions. That's it for today, and that wraps up my Did You Know Clone Wars series because I'm now out of seasons, but I do have plans to talk about Season 7 and what could have been. If you want to see the other videos in this series, check out this playlist. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.